Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know, from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars, topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Alright, and welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Alright, it is Friday. It's been raining all day out here in Sacramento. It hasn't been pretty, but nonetheless, we're here. We made it through. The rain does not stop us. Alright, so let me tell you how Friday's show is going to go, and it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of my thoughts going through here, okay? So starting out, we're going to recap yesterday's NBA games, okay, as we usually do, which was Thursday's games. Yep, Thursday's games. Second segment, we got the Warriors. All right, are they bored? I think they might be. I'm going to give my thoughts on the Warriors, all right, and pretty much just, because like how I said, for the first segment, we're going to be recapping yesterday's games, but we're going to leave that Warriors win out against the Pacers. We're going to save that for the second segment. And we're just going to go from there, talking about the Warriors, all right? That's all I can tell you. We're going to talk about the Warriors. Third segment, Kyrie Irving, now out for the rest of the season. Got a second surgery on his knee. We'll be talking about that, give my thoughts on it all, talk about the Celtics season as a whole, and pretty much, like I said, same thing for the Warriors. For me talking about them being bored, I'm talking about the Celtics being without Kyrie and just their season as far as being injured the entire time. And then for the fourth segment, as we always do, talk about whatever else is going on in the world of basketball. Okay, you got Paul George talking about how wherever OKC finishes, it won't dictate his free agent decision. I still got thoughts on Melo, so I'm sure he'll get in there. I think New York, there was a little billboard in New York for talking about trying to get LeBron to head over there. So I'll tell you what was on the billboard and all that. We'll talk about that. And pretty much, like I said, anything else going on in the world of basketball, we'll be making my picks too. So let's just get into it. Let's see. First up, we had the Washington Wizards facing off with the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. Now, LeBron guy's pretty good, and so is that John Wall guy. But either way, the Cavs won this one, 119 to 115. For the Wizards, you had Markieff Morris with 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 7 of 12. Otto Porter had 18 points, 8 rebounds, shot 8 of 13. John Wall had 28 points, 14 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 10 of 20, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Bradley Beal had 19 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds, shot 7 of 15, 4 of 6 from a three-point line. And then you had Mike Scott off the bench with 12 points there. Let's see, for the Cavs, you had Jeff Green with 21 points, shot 8 of 10, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Guy's been playing really well since the Cavs inserted him into the starting lineup. Jeff Green's always been a bit of a weird player, all right? Remember, he started off, he got drafted by Boston, got traded to OKC, was with them for a little bit, came back to Boston through trade, and was okay with Boston. I think he had a game-winning shot against the Heat once. And then ends up going to, his next team Cleveland. He went to the Magic for a little bit, I know that. And then after that, I think is when he went to Cleveland. And it's just, well, Cleveland has been playing well. He's kind of been like the more under-the-radar type player for that team, and no one's been paying attention. But like I said, the guy's been playing really well for that team. All right, LeBron had 33 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, shot 12 of 20, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. Imagine if LeBron developed a consistent three-point jump shot where he shot, let's say, 42% from the three-point line. Imagine that. Okay. I wonder what LeBron's three-point percentage is right now for his career, but just imagine if LeBron James was able to be one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Imagine if he had Steph Curry's three-point shot. Imagine how much better he'd be. Let's see. So, yeah, for his career, he shot 34%. This year, he's shooting 36%. So, yeah, even then, so let's say he gets to 42% from three. That dude would be the greatest player of all time, and there'd be no debate for it whatsoever. All right, like I said, he almost had a triple-double there, 33, 14, and 9. Cedi Osman is back in this one, got the start, had 8 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 2 or 3 from the field in 15 minutes. Kevin Love, 16 points, 6 rebounds, shot 5 of 10, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Rodney Hood had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 3 of 6. And then you had Larry Nance. Didn't shoot the ball well, 1 of 5 from the field, only had 3 points, but did bring in 10 rebounds. Tristan Thompson played 10 minutes in this one, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 points, 0 shots, 1 foul. What a stat line. Jordan Clarkson, 10 points in this one, shot 5 of 12, didn't hit a 3. Kyle Korver had 13 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 7, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And then J.R. Smith is continuing his struggling year, 4 points in that one. Once again, the Cavs won this one, 119 to 115. Cavs are looking good right now, let me tell you. All right. They are the favorites in the East, with Boston pretty much done with injuries now. Toronto's not really a team you could trust in the playoffs, and Philly is just too young. All right. I've been having my doubts about Cleveland all year. You know this. It's been well documented. Go ahead and listen to any show, honestly, and I'll tell you about it. But the Cavs, best team in the East right now, and it's not looking like they're going to be stopped in the Eastern Conference, in the East at least. When the finals come, they'll be playing the Rockets or the Warriors. That's going to be a completely different story. All right, but for the next game, we had the Portland Trailblazers facing off with the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets won this one, 96-94. Pretty decent game from Portland, considering the fact that they were out with Damian Lillard in this one. All right, for the Trailblazers, you had Evan Turner with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. Joseph Nurkic had 14 points, 11 rebounds, shot 7 of 12. Shabazz Napier, who started for Damian Lillard, had 8 points, 4 rebounds, shot 2 of 9, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. CJ McCollum took 25 shots in this one, 9 threes, only hit 2 threes and 7 total shots. All right, had 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And then off the bench, you had Caleb Swanigan with 10 points, 4 rebounds, shot 3 of 4. Let's see, Zach Collins, 1 point in this one, the rookie. Wayne Baldwin had 14 points, though, off the bench, 3 assists, shot 6 of 10, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. For the Rockets, you had Trevor Ariza with 10 points, shot 4 of 8, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. PJ Tucker only 1 for 5 from the field, 3 points. Clint Capella had 11 points, 10 rebounds there. Dude's been a beast all season. Chris Paul had 27 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 11 of 19, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. And then you had the future MVP winner for this season, James Harden, with 24 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 7 of 13, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Can you believe that there's people out there who genuinely think that someone else is more deserving of the MVP this season rather than James Harden? Like, isn't it kind of weird to see that James Harden isn't going to win the unanimous MVP this season? Like, I don't understand how you could. I understand maybe you think LeBron is, but Cleveland hasn't really been that. Like I said, it goes back to like the entire season, all right? James Harden has been dominant all season long, and the Rockets have been the number 1 team in the West, all right? And that's hard to do when you get the Warriors out there. Cleveland in the East should be number 1 at all times, but they're number 3, half game up on Philly. Yes, LeBron is probably having the best year of his career, but I just don't see how you could give him the MVP over James Harden. Like, even think about it. People will say Anthony Davis, yeah, that was cool for about a month. I was on that hype too. Was never really on the Damian Lillard MVP hype. That was going well for about a week. Anyone else? Kyrie Irving, before he got all his injuries, was up there, but never really thought he had any chance. Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, their names got thrown around there sometimes, but kind of cancels out when you figure that they play with each other. And Steph, too, unless Kevin Durant leaves, is never winning another MVP. Steph's new MVPs have to be finals MVPs, all right? But anyways, like I said, James Harden, for me, got to be the unanimous MVP, honestly. I mean, you just can't give it to LeBron this year. And that's kind of sad about LeBron. It's kind of like with Jordan. You can't give him the MVP every year. You got to give it to someone else, too, so yeah, we'll see about it. But either way, like I said, James Harden, without a doubt, the MVP this year. Houston, without a doubt, the number 1 seed in the West. I'm not going to go out and say that they're... do I say that they're the best? I don't know. I'm still kind of stuck on that. I want to, but I feel like I can't yet. Anyways, though, for the next game, we had the Brooklyn Nets facing off with the Milwaukee Bucks, and Brooklyn won this one 119 to 111. Real bad loss for the Bucks here. You got to be winning these games. Joe Harris for Brooklyn had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 6 of 8, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 14 points, 11 rebounds, shot 3 of 6. D'Angelo Russell had 22 points, 5 assists, shot 9 of 16, 4 of 10 from the three-point line. Alan Crabb had 25 points in this one, 7 rebounds, shot 8 of 14, 5 of 10 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Quincy Acey with 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Spencer Dinwiddie had 9 points, 6 assists. And then you had Caris LeVert with 13 points, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 10 there. For the Bucks, you had Giannis Antetokounmpo with 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 7 of 21. Chris Middleton had 31 points, 4 rebounds, shot 9 of 14, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Eric Bledsoe had 18 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, you had Jabari Parker, who put up 13 and 10, but took 21 shots, only hit 6 of them, took 4 threes, hit none of them. All right, so not great there. Tyler Zeller had 8 points, 2 rebounds in this one off the bench. If I'm the Bucks, I'm kicking myself for this one. These are wins you got to get here, all right? Absolutely have to get. And I understand they already made the playoffs, but it's just a matter of you don't want to be playing the number 1 seed. You don't want to play the Raptors, okay? And the Bucks this season, their biggest downfall has been coaching, I feel. Just haven't been well coached at all. And maybe, a good coach for them would be David Fizdale. All right, the old coach for the Grizzlies. Go ahead and bring Fizdale over for the Bucks. He's already a good coach. I don't know why, if the Grizzlies just fired him just because of the fact that they're just starting out completely fresh, which I understand there. But I would bring in Fizdale, make him the coach of the Bucks, and I think he'd turn them into a top 4 team, honestly. Top 5 at least. But yeah, bad loss by the Bucks. Currently got the same record as the Wizards. The Wizards got the Cavs coming up, so maybe the Bucks can jump them there, but we'll see about it. Let's see. For the next game, we have the LA Clippers facing off with the Utah Jazz, and Utah won this one easily, 117-95. This pretty much shuts out all of the Clippers' playoff hopes here. All right, because I think they got the Nuggets going on Saturday. It's going to be a tough one there, so really don't see a scenario where the Clippers end up sneaking in. But anyways, like I said, the Jazz won 117-95. For the Clippers, you had Tobias Harris with 11 points, 7 rebounds, shot 5 of 12. DeAndre Jordan had 8 points, 9 rebounds, shot 4 of 6. Austin Rivers had 19 points, shot 6 of 12, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Montrezl Harrell, who's been a beast all season, 17 points, 3 rebounds, shot 7 of 11. Lou Williams had 12 points in this one, shot 3 of 12, 0 of 3 from the three-point line. Not great from him there. Let's see, what did Sam Dekker do? Sam Dekker had 8 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 6 there. For the Jazz, you had Derek Favors with 16 points, 3 rebounds, shot 7 of 15 from the field. Joe Ingles, 11 points, 9 assists, shot 4 of 8. Rudy Gobert had 15 points, 10 rebounds, shot 6 of 6. Donovan Mitchell had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 15. And then you had Jonas Jerebko with 13 points, 2 rebounds, shot 5 of 6 off the bench. Let's see, Dante Exum, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 4 of 9. And then Alec Burks with 13 points, 2 rebounds, shot 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. I always get him mixed up with Alex Burke. Is it Alex Burke? It's Alec Burks and Alex Burke, right? I have to double check. But either way, Jazz won this one, 117-95. All right, for the final game of the night, we had the Denver Nuggets going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, and Denver won this one, 100-96. For the Timberwolves, you had Taj Gibson with 17 points, 14 rebounds, shot 6 of 15 there. Andrew Wiggins had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 12, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Not great numbers from the guy who supposedly thinks he should be higher than the third option on that team. If you think so, maybe you put up more than, 9 points in a big game, in a playoff meaning game, I guess you could say. What are the games? Playoff stretch type game? I don't know. Either way, you'd expect him to do better since he thinks he's a whole lot better than what he might actually be. Karl Anthony Towns had 26 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 10 of 16 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Now that's a stat line from a top player on a team. Jeff Teague had 15 points, 6 assists, shot 6 of 14, 0 of 5 from the three-point line. For the Nuggets, you had Paul Millsap, not great from him, 3 of 12 from the field, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Wilson Chandler had 10 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 10. Will Barton had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 6 of 14, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. Nikolai Jokic had 16 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists, shot 6 of 20, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Jamal Murray had 22 points, 2 rebounds, shot 8 of 16, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, great game from the veteran Devin Harris. 20 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 11, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. I really want to see the Nuggets in the playoffs. I really want to see the Timberwolves make the playoffs, and I really want to see the Pelicans make the playoffs also. There was a scenario where the Thunder, I guess, could drop out and we could get the Nuggets in there. I would be very happy with that. Even then, so the Spurs. If Kawhi is not playing, I don't want to see the Spurs in the playoffs. It is what it is. I'm not hating on your team. I might be. Who knows? But either way, I mean, the Spurs and Thunder are only currently a game up on the Nuggets, so there is a scenario where we could see the Nuggets making the playoffs. All right. Timberwolves play the Lakers today. They got to win that one. Nuggets got the Clippers tomorrow night. And obviously, they got to win that one. I got to double check who the Thunder are playing. I think it's going to be tough. Spurs, I'm not too sure about. I mean, the Spurs are pretty much unstoppable at home. So if they got, let's see, they got 3 games left. If they have 3 home games left, they're not losing. So we'll see about it. But best case scenario would be, for me, would be the Pelicans, Timberwolves, and Nuggets making it. Move the Pelicans up to the 6th seed. We'll move the Timberwolves up to the 7th. Yeah, move the Pelicans up to the 6th seed. Move the Timberwolves up to the 7th seed. And move the Nuggets up to the 8th seed. All right? Best case scenario there for me. Who knows? We'll see about it. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to talk about the Warriors game yesterday, and we're going to talk a bit about the Warriors, all right? So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. So far today, we've only had one segment. We talked about yesterday's NBA games, recapped those, gave my thoughts on some of the teams that played, and we didn't do one of the games, obviously. We didn't do the Pacers and Warriors game. We're going to do that for this segment and talk about the Warriors in depth a bit and pretty much just give my thoughts on them. So let's get into it. We have the Golden State Warriors facing off with the Indiana Pacers in Indiana, and the Pacers won this one 126-106. Draymond Green had 9 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, only took 3 shots, hit them all, I guess you could say. 29 minutes played. Kevin Durant, 27 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 8 of 23, 2 of 10 from the three-point line. Not great shooting numbers there. Let's see, Quinn Cook had 12 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Klay Thompson, he had 16 points, 7 rebounds, shot 6 of 16, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. For the Pacers, you had Thaddeus Young with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 7 of 11, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Bojan Bogdanovic had 28 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 11 of 13, 6 of 7 from the three-point line. Miles Turner, he had 8 points, 3 rebounds, shot 3 of 9. Darren Collison had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 6 of 8. And then you had Victor Oladipo with 21 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, shot 9 of 17, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Like I said, the Pacers won that one 126-106. All right, not ideal as far as the Warriors play there. Okay, obviously you'd expect them to play a whole lot better when you got KD, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green out there, okay? And you could tell me all you want, oh, but no Steph Curry. Yeah, you still have 3 of the top 20 players in this league. One's top 5, 2 of them are top 15, top 20, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, okay? You got Steve Kerr saying after the game, he's mad, he's embarrassed by the way they played, no effort, and I agree, okay? It's just, the Warriors look bored. Okay. I mean, Steve Kerr called their effort was pathetic. He called it pathetic. All right. Like I said, he said he was mad. He was embarrassed. It's just the Warriors right now they got to figure out what's going on. Okay. It's simply put, they got to figure out what's going on there. With Kerr saying that they look pathetic, they look like they have no energy or anything like that. I mean, it's the truth. The Warriors, I think it's a matter of, I always like to compare the little situation to a little personal situation of mine. Okay, obviously it's different. One's professional, one's not. But I was on the soccer team, okay? And listen before you thinking, rolling your eyes, thinking, oh, this guy's talking about his old life or whatever. No. I was on the soccer team, and we won every game pretty much, dominating, and it gets bored, okay? It definitely does get bored because you have no real competition, and connecting it back to what the Warriors are doing, that's pretty much the same thing, I feel. All right? The Warriors have been dominating the league for the last 3 years. This is their 4th year, I guess you could say. And it's just, I think they've gotten to the point where it's like, why are we going to give maximum effort during the regular season when we know what we can do during the playoffs? All right? Warriors won the title 3 years ago. Okay? Lost it the second year. People will say if Draymond doesn't get suspended that series against the Cavs, the Warriors win it. I don't like to be one of those guys, so I'm okay saying the Cavs were the better team that year, but nonetheless, I mean, there is the what if about Draymond Green not getting suspended, okay? Then the next year, that's when KD comes over, and they blow out Cleveland 4-1 in the series. Wasn't close at all, all right? Not at all. And now here we are. Warriors second in the West right now, 7 games back of the first seed. Without context, that sounds like crazy, right? But even with all of that, I'm sure most of us would agree, the majority would say that the Warriors are the favorites to win the title this year, no doubt. All right? And that's fine. But let's go back to a game against Phoenix. Steve Kerr had the players calling the timeout play, the plays from the timeout during the game. More so, they were coaching more so than they were just playing. All right? Doing both. Steve Kerr was just in the background. Steve Kerr, after the game, said that he did that in order to get the team, pretty much get them back interested. All right? Said he felt like he wasn't getting through to the team anymore. It sounded like they were kind of tired of him. He was tired of himself. Whatever. The coach speak, you know? Is that what we got going on here? Are the Warriors disinterested, and are they just tuning out Steve Kerr? There was an article on CSN Bay Area, their website, that pretty much highlighted that, I feel. Okay? And I think that's currently what's going on. The Warriors are a team where they're just too good. Okay? And it's just like, maybe they've gotten to the point where it's like, what's the point here? And they're the Warriors, this Warriors team, this little dynasty that they got going on here, is in the same tier as the Showtime Lakers, the 86-87 Celtics, and the 96-97 Bulls. Okay? These Warriors teams are up there. As much as you want to be like, oh no, not at all, they don't come close to these teams. If you're a guy who was around for that and watched that and you're just negating these younger guys, I mean, it's time to get with the times, honestly. All right? Believe it or not, these NBA players now, as a whole, are better than the NBA players before. There's way more talent now than there was before. Disagree all you want. It's the truth. It's a young man's game, and it changes. But nonetheless, all right, the Warriors, I think, I've gotten to the point where it's like, this is boring. Okay? I was talking with Tate before the show, and we were talking about this exact thing. All right? I was telling him, looks like the Warriors are bored. He was telling me it reminds him of the 03-04 Lakers with Karl Malone and all those guys. All right? I think that Gary Payton on there too. Let me see if I could find that roster. But either way, he was telling me how that Lakers team was, and I was only about maybe 8 years old at the time, 7 years old, so I don't really remember much. But he was telling me how that Lakers team was winning all the time, and they pretty much just got bored. Okay. Playoffs come, not really taking it too serious because of the fact that they're without a doubt the best team. And yeah, they had Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Byron Russell. Very good players on that team. Luke Walton was on that team. He was a rookie, actually. Luke Walton was out in the league for a while. But nonetheless, getting back to the point, all right, he was telling me how how that team pretty much was beating everyone. They get to the finals, lose a couple games. No one's worried about it except for Kobe, and then they end up losing the series. Man, I'm looking at that roster right now. Horace Grant, Karl Malone. Again, these guys are all past their prime, but nonetheless, these are good, solid veterans. But either way, yeah, they ended up losing to the Pistons, I think it was. Okay? And I think that's might be what we have with this Warriors team. Okay? Because let's put it this way. This is going to be the toughest playoff run they've had in a while. Probably ever had since this team's been together. From the first time they won the championship to now, this is definitely going to be the toughest. Because of the fact that if they end up having to play a team like the Timberwolves round 1 without Steph Curry, and we've seen what kind of team this Warriors team is without him, it's going to be tough. I could honestly see that series going 7 games. Okay? Honestly. You got Jimmy Butler back. The Timberwolves are obviously a completely different team with him out there. All right? And I think they give him a run for their money. Am I going to go as far as saying that the Timberwolves would beat them? No, I would not do that. Okay? Warriors would still be the favorites, no doubt. But it'd be tough for them. Okay? Then you'd be going up against a team like the Trailblazers where I think that the Warriors could handle them fairly easy. It'll go 6 games, but it'll be like kind of like one of those we knew who was in the driver's seat the entire time. There was no doubt about it type of series. Okay? Then obviously you'll be heading over to the Western Conference Finals facing off with the Houston Rockets. This Rockets team is the best team that the Warriors are going to have to go up against. Okay. Obviously, people will say, well, that Cavs team that won the finals 2 years ago is the better team since they won the championship. But, again, going back to the whole Draymond Green thing, I mean, if Draymond Green's out there, maybe it's a little bit different. I understand if you want to say that Cavs team was better than this Rockets team. I think more people are going to be disagreeing with you rather than agreeing with you, but that's all you. All right. I think that this Rockets team is better. And, like I said, the Warriors have not faced a team like this yet. All right. Do I think that the Rockets are better than the Warriors? Full strength, both teams. I'm going with the Warriors 10 times out of 10. But I know the Rockets are going to be able to get a couple. All right. Let's say that I think worst case scenario for the Warriors would be that they get the Pelicans in round 1 because of the fact that that series only goes about 5 games probably. Then you're not really going to have too much trouble since you're getting Steph back for round 2. So you've pretty much had a cakewalk throughout the playoffs, and then you get to the Western Conference Finals, and you've pretty much been jogging through, not having trouble. And you got this Rockets team who is waiting for you, okay? Make no mistake, the Rockets do have the Warriors scheduled on the calendar, all right? As for the Western Conference Finals. The Rockets are going to be ready for that one. I think it's just a matter of the Warriors. They're just way too nonchalant right now. I think that's the problem. Okay? It goes back, like I said, to the whole Suns thing where the players were coaching. I think that they've just lost interest. Obviously, they're going to get up for the playoffs, but it's just a matter of, I mean, are they going to be ready? You got to be playing your best basketball by the time you get to the Rockets series. Okay? And if they're not, then you're kind of like, ooh, the Warriors haven't looked that good. The Rockets could take that series. No doubt. I'm just very intrigued as to see what the Warriors got planned out, and especially how they're going to play against a team like the Timberwolves if they end up facing off in the first round without Steph Curry. I'm more so scared about that than I am anything else for the Warriors. All right? So we'll see about it, but like I said, I just wanted to highlight the fact that I think the Warriors are just currently, they're just bored right now. All right? Winning all the time stinks. It's boring. You want some competition at least. People always say that LeBron has a cakewalk through the East year after year. The Warriors haven't for the last 4 seasons. Really? People want to play up the Spurs and all, and I get that. The Spurs are a great team, but they don't come close to the Warriors. People want to say, oh, if Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt in that series, then they win. No, they don't. Not at all. Not at all. All right? This is the first time that the Warriors are actually going to have real trouble. Okay? So we'll see about it, but that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Celtics. Kyrie Irving's done for the year. Just going to give an overview on all of that, give my thoughts. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. So far today, we've recapped Thursday's NBA games and talked a bit about the Warriors. They look bored, and I don't know. It's going to be tough for them this playoff go-around, all right? Getting through the first, second, and third rounds is going to be very difficult. Probably going to be the most difficult little playoff stretch they've gone through, so we'll see about it. But Celtics, East, what's going on there? Okay, Celtics currently number 2 in the East right now. Looking pretty good still, honestly, all right? They lost Kyrie Irving. Let's see. They're currently 7-3 in their last 10. Lost 2 in a row, though. And it's just, with the Celtics, obviously, if you haven't heard it, well, here it is. Kyrie Irving is out for the year. All right. And there goes any hope that Boston had as far as making the finals. Okay. It's all gone. Kiss it goodbye. All right. This year, I guess you could say for the Celtics, was over once Gordon Hayward broke his ankle in the first game of the season. That was kind of like a foreshadow of what the Celtics season was going to consist of. Because I have never seen a team throughout the year be so injured or sick. It's ridiculous. Okay? From Kyrie Irving missing a bunch of games this year. I think he missed around 20 games this season. I think he played 60 games, I think it was. Played 60 games. All right. And pretty much was in and out in the lineup. Al Horford was out for a little bit. Out for a couple of weeks, I think it was. Been out last couple of weeks. Kind of in and out with injuries and sickness, which I don't know. Either the Celtics aren't taking the right medicine or it's just they got bad immune systems. Okay. Jaylen Brown was out for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Can't remember exactly. Was out with a concussion. Jason Tatum missed a few games this season. Shane Larkin, who's actually become a very important part of this Celtics team. Never thought that'd be something I was saying this year, but nonetheless, here we are. He's been an important player. He's been out sick. All right, was in the hospital, I think it was, the other day. And it's just, this team has just dealt with injuries all year. It's just not meant to be this season. Oh yeah, Marcus Smart, forgot about him. Tore a tendon in his hand. Daniel Tice tore his meniscus. All right. It's just been rough for this team. Injuries on top of injuries on top of injuries. So it was supposed to be the year where they took the next step with Hayward and Irving, but it just never happened. All right? And that's fine for the Celtics. Long term, they're still set up very nicely. Set up better than any of the other teams, I guess besides the Warriors. But nonetheless, you get what I'm saying here. All right? Next year, by the time the first game starts, you should be having Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward out there playing together. Okay? Now it's just a matter of, for next year, you keeping Terry Rozier, you keeping Marcus Smart, what's going on there? All right. But as far as this season goes, I mean, now it's playoff time, okay? You're going to finish as the second seed. You're not going to miss out on the playoffs or anything like that. You already know what's going in, what's happening going into the playoffs. I guess just now it's a matter of, are they playing the Wizards or the Bucks? I doubt they'll be playing the Heat because the Heat are looking good right now. They're a game up on the Wizards and Bucks, actually. Wizards and Bucks currently have the same records at 42 and 37, but I think right now the Wizards currently hold the tiebreaker, and that's why they are the 7th seed. If I'm the Celtics, I don't want to play the Wizards. Okay, I would continue to say it, and I'll say it again today. That team, I think they probably think that they'd be playing the Celtics team from last year, which, I mean, is completely blown up. Isaiah Thomas has played for 2 different teams since then, or is on his second team since he left Boston. Jay Crowder's on his second team since he left Boston. All right, Jonas Jerebko's playing for Jay Crowder's team now. Who else has gone from that year? Kelly Olynyk's playing for the Heat. Let's see. From the starting 5 last year, am I missing anyone? It was Isaiah Thomas, it was Brown. Gerald Green was on that team. Now he's playing for the best team in the West. Literally everyone for that team is gone. I think except for Brown, Rozier, Smart, Horford. And I think that's it. I honestly think those are the only players they kept. Brown, Rozier, Smart, Horford. Just 4 players from last year's team is back. Which is ridiculous. Honestly. But nonetheless, I mean, I still think, because before Kyrie, it was announced Kyrie was going to be out for the rest of the season, I still thought that the Celtics would be able to get out of the first round. Okay, at that time, I mean, Washington was about 5 seed, 4 seed, around there. Washington, actually, the more I pay attention to them, I'm kind of, I don't know. I just think with their thing with the with playing the Celtics would be, like I said, they're just thinking they're playing the old Celtics team. They lost in 7 games last year in the second round. Probably thought that they could have beat the Cavs. I mean, the Wizards are the definition, I always say it, the definition of irrational confidence. For some reason, they think they're a whole lot better than what they are. Okay? But nonetheless, they'd go into this first round with the Celtics thinking, you know what, we got to beat these guys, we got to get revenge. John Wall against Terry Rozier, not a matchup I'd like to see because of the fact that John Wall's just got that top player experience and playoff experience. Terry Rozier's got playoff experience, but this is probably the biggest role he's played with the Celtics since he's been with the team. The Celtics could beat the Heat or the Bucks, I feel, because of the fact that the Bucks are just extremely poorly coached. Brad Stevens would run circles around whoever's running it out there. And the Miami Heat, I think, just lack that one superstar to get them over the Celtics. Okay, obviously the Celtics are missing a superstar right now, but it's just a matter of, I think the Celtics currently have a better team than the Heat without Kyrie Irving. Okay. And one thing that the Celtics are really going to need to depend on is Jason Tatum. He's the X factor for this team as far as if they want to go far in the playoffs still. All right. Jason Tatum, although he is a rookie, is probably already the second best player on the team, third best. If we're not counting Hayward, he's probably second best unless you like Horford better. Honestly, already I'd take him over Jaylen Brown just because Jason Tatum's more of an efficient scorer and a better scorer. Jaylen Brown, though, I mean, if he develops a consistent jump shot, shoots about 40% from 3 near there, he's going to be a very good player, let me tell you. All right, but nonetheless, Jason Tatum has taken on a bigger role since Kyrie's been out. Jason Tatum's been getting those shots that Kyrie takes when he's out there, okay? And Terry Rozier is also a guy who's going to need to step up, obviously. Terry Rozier has he has taken over the starting point guard duties with Kyrie Irving out, and he's been playing well. Probably the best season of his career so far. Playing a more complete game, looking very good. All right? And now you just need him to be consistent. Need him to play well, and need him to keep playing well on defense. Without those two guys, they don't stand a chance. I could say, if one of them doesn't play well, Celtics really don't stand a chance. Okay? And it's just bad luck all around, I guess you could say. Like, the Celtics do have a chance of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think it need to go down this way, okay? They need to play the Bucks in the first round. They would need Philly to move to the 3 seed and have Cleveland drop to the 4 seed. If they play Cleveland in the second round, Boston I don't think stands a chance. Unless by some miracle, I mean, that little leprechaun luck gets to them and Brad Stevens just coaches the series of his life. Okay, I just don't see it happening. I could see them beating the Sixers in the second round because of the fact that the Sixers really have no playoff experience whatsoever. Okay? Yeah, you got guys like J.J. Redick, Amir Johnson. I mean, J.J. Redick's never really made it past the first round. Amir Johnson was with the Celtics last season. All right. And I think maybe Bellinelli was with the Spurs when they made the playoffs. I think he won the title with them one year. I can't remember exactly. And then you got Ilyasova, who's been in the league for quite a while. Those aren't, like, your top players, though, aren't really guys who's been around in the playoffs. Covington, Saric, Simmons, and Embiid. Okay. That would just be a matter of winning on pure ability. Do I think the Sixers have a better team than the Celtics when Kyrie's not out there? Yes. Okay. But like I said, it'd be first time Brett Brown's been in the playoffs since maybe ever. Okay. Brad Stevens has been around, knows what it takes to beat teams. And that's one thing too. It all hinges on Brad Stevens, Jason Tatum, and Terry Rozier. If it doesn't work out with one of them, it doesn't work out with any of them. All right, but nonetheless, I could see them getting past the Sixers and then losing to either the Raptors or the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay? And I mean, I'm saying Raptors, but who knows if they'll even be around by that time. So with the Celtics, there still is a chance to make some noise. You're not going to the finals, but you can make some noise in the playoffs in the East. But things got to go your way. Like I said, you probably need Philly to win tonight and hold on to that 3 seed. You need the Bucks to move up to 7. Or even the Heat, for that matter. Don't want to play the Wizards. But nonetheless, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But as for the next few years and all that, Boston's set up pretty nicely. Gordon Hayward should be back by Game 1 next season. Kyrie Irving should be ready to go. All right, the only reason why he's having a second surgery is I think because he had screws in there before, and I think that got infected, so they had to remove those and clean it up. So I think he'll be fine. But yeah, Celtics are going to be a very fun team to watch the next few years. You got Jason Tatum, who's stepped up. Dude's going to be a future superstar. Already a great scorer for this team. Kyrie Irving, Hayward, Brown, already developing. Still got Horford. Marcus Morris has been a beast off the bench for them. Maybe Greg Winrow sticks around. And, I mean, Brad Stevens could throw me out there as far as the rotation. I do well. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about the Celtics, that little situation they're going through right now. I mean, right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think, are the best team in the East. I mean, I've kind of flip-flopped. Last couple of weeks, it's been Toronto, but now it's looking like Cleveland for me being the best team in the East. Philadelphia's right up there, I think. They've won 12 in a row. Let's see. Currently outscoring their teams by 4 points. I mean, they've looked well. They've looked very good. So we'll see about it. Philly, I'm very intrigued just to see how they deal with the whole playoff atmosphere and all that. First team that team has been in the playoffs in a while. I think since they had Andre Iguodala. Or Evan Turner, I think it was. Yeah, Evan Turner. I think Iguodala might have been on that team. But either way, we'll see about it. That's actually going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, we're going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of basketball. All right, talk about Paul George a bit. Talk about the little banner that the New York Knicks, not the New York Knicks, but some New Yorkers put up in order to recruit LeBron. We'll be talking about all that. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. This is our final segment of today's show. So far today, we've recapped Thursday's NBA games, talked about the Warriors and Celtics, and now we're going to talk about whatever else crosses my mind as far as the world of basketball goes. So let's get right into it. All right, let's see what's going on in the world of basketball. Paul George said that wherever OKC finishes, that won't dictate where he goes in free agency. Let's see. Embiid's already on the road to recovery, doing light cardio work. Marshawn Brooks got to deal with the Grizzlies. Let's see how many years that's for. Marshawn Brooks is a guy who's been out the league for a couple years, I think. Yeah, multi-year contract. That's all it says. I'm not sure really how much of it is guaranteed, but nonetheless, the dude's been a beast since he's been with the Grizzlies. All right. Let's see. He's played 44 games. He played 44 games this year in the G League with the Memphis's G League affiliate team. Averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Signed a 10-year deal with the Grizzlies on March 27th. Averaged 23 points, 3 assists there. So, I mean, the guy's been playing really well. All right, so that's good on him. Getting a little deal back in the NBA. Multi-year deal, too, so some security there. Let's see. Let's talk about Paul George, okay? Paul George said that wherever OKC finishes won't dictate where he lands in free agency. Does anyone really think that he ends up anywhere else besides LA? Like, let's take LA and OKC out. Where would there be? Where's a good option for him outside of those two teams? Honestly, the Cavs maybe. If they bring back LeBron, like if LeBron comes back, that's a possibility. But it seems like LeBron doesn't even want to be back. So, like, where is a good fit for Paul George? I don't see one. Like, do we still think Paul George is the same great player he was a couple years ago? Honestly, with how the Pacers have done extremely better without him. And I'm not trying to knock Paul George. I do like Paul George, okay? It's not like a thing where I'm trying to make you guys turn on him or anything like that. I do like Paul George. I do think he's a very good player. But, like, is he as good as he once was? This year he's been kind of off. Even himself has said that he's had something mechanically wrong with his jump shot. Maybe it's just one of those things where he's got to fix that. He'll be back to being normal. Who knows? But it's just with Paul George, I mean, I just don't see a scenario where he doesn't end up with the Lakers or the Thunder. And I just don't see him not ending up with the Lakers. That would make no sense to me. Like, I don't know, this Magic Johnson's all, you know what? We are going to wait till 2019 and get our free agents through there, which is a possibility. But nonetheless, I mean, like I said, who knows what's going on there in La La Land. All right. I mean, the Thunder as a whole, like I said, they're only a game up on the Denver Nuggets, who are currently on the outside looking in for the playoffs. If the Thunder don't make playoffs, what do you do if you don't make playoffs with this team? Okay, honestly, I feel like the team they had last year was better than the team they have this year. I just feel like this season's team just hasn't worked out well at all. I mean, they brought them together to beat the Rockets and Warriors, and, I mean, you can barely even beat the Timberwolves, or the Pelicans for that matter. It hasn't worked out. Carmelo Anthony is a shell of what he once was. Okay, the biggest problem with Carmelo Anthony wasn't that he couldn't win. It's the fact that GMs around the league, or whatever teams he was playing for, continued to try and build teams around him rather than making him a piece on a team. Carmelo Anthony is not a guy you build a team around. Okay? You can disagree all you want, but just go look to how those teams did. Okay? At one point, didn't he have like Chauncey Billups, Allen Iverson on a team, J.R. Smith, when he was just starting out? Had pretty decent players. Had a pretty decent team in New York, I feel. But nonetheless, Carmelo Anthony is just that guy where he doesn't make anyone around him better. All right? DeMarcus Cousins the same way. I mean, we don't really know that for sure, though, because of the fact that, I mean, they were putting hot garbage around DeMarcus Cousins and when he was in Sacramento. I mean, it was brutal. Passing up on guys like Klay Thompson and Kawhi Leonard for guys like Jimmer Fredette, like the most garbage drafting I've ever seen in my life. All right, the Kings from 2000 and whenever they didn't make the playoffs to, I guess, right before the season, were a dumpster fire. All right, they almost went to Seattle. That's how bad they were. And Seattle does need a new team already. We need to get the Supersonics back and get Seattle another NBA team, okay? I mean, it's cool that Oklahoma City got one, but nonetheless, it's time. And maybe it'll happen. I mean, the NHL is going to be bringing in a team over there, and they're going to have a stadium. Maybe they could have whatever team plays basketball over there play in that stadium. I mean, usually how teams do it, don't it? Don't the Philadelphia Flyers and 76ers both play at the Wells Fargo Center? I think so. All right, but nonetheless, getting back to the Thunder, I mean, it's just something that hasn't worked out. And it's probably best that they blow it up as far as getting rid of, like, letting George walk and letting Melo go. You definitely want Melo to go. Melo's just not a guy where he's just not going to help. He's not. And it is what it is. You know? Melo was a great player, a great scorer, but, I mean, Melo, he's had a weird career. Okay? Was always regarded as like on that level with a Kobe or LeBron during their primes and all that. As far as when they were in the league at the same time, I'm not saying all time or anything like that, but when they were in the same league playing at the same time, that was a top tier of players at that time. And I think Carmelo Anthony's more so second tier. He's not on the level of a LeBron, not on the level of a Kobe, not even on the level of a James Harden or Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. He's just not, and that's fine. I think we just simply overrated Carmelo for most of his career. And maybe I'm just completely oblivious to how good he was. And I'm not knocking him for how good he was. I mean, I'll go out and say that he was one of the better scorers in the league. One of the best, if not the best in the league. But I don't know. Now he's just not. All right. But anyways, that's all I got to say about the Thunder. Let's see what we got going on in New York. We got people putting up billboards, signs, saying, let's see, this billboard says, it's like kind of like the Witness one that they have in Cleveland, or that they had. I'm not sure if they put that back up. But anyways, it's got on the top Knicks jersey. It's the back of it. It's got the number 23 and LeBron James' obviously last name on the back. Then the next section says, King of New York, ? Prove it. # King James NYC 18. Yeah, that's going to get him there, New York. That's going to get him there. No doubt. No doubt. LeBron is going to the Knicks now. All right. And, I mean, I think LeBron's got a better chance of going to the Trailblazers than the Knicks got with him. All right. I just don't see that happening at all. I think they're probably still a little upset about the fact that they missed out last time, so maybe here's their second chance, but I just don't see it happening at all. The only way LeBron were to go to the Knicks is if he's like, you know what? I don't care about winning anymore. I don't care about owners. I just want to go make money in big cities. All right, as far as all the outside stuff he could do. People are saying right now, oh, they got Porzingis. Yeah, he's not going to be back till like February, March next year. Okay? A 7-footer coming off of what? An ACL injury, Achilles, whatever it is, doesn't matter. All right? Mid-season, on a team that'll be probably competing for playoffs? Yeah, he's going to get real acclimated. He's going to play real well, too. Makes no sense. And plus, you're thinking, oh, we got the draft pick. You're not using that draft pick if you bring in LeBron. All right, let me tell you that much. I just don't think the Knicks would be a good team with LeBron. I don't think they're a good team without him. The Knicks are just, they're from New York, so they got to feel wanted. All right, they're nothing like the Celtics or Lakers. Not even on the Bulls level. All right. More so on Cleveland's level as far as NBA basketball franchises. Okay? It's the truth. They only have, one title since 1975? Come on now. Really? But you want to be up there with the Bulls and the Celtics and the Lakers? No chance. Just because you play in a nice little big media market does not mean you're as good as you are. All right? Honestly, the Knicks, if they weren't to play in New York, they'd basically be the, let's see, let's find a good comparison here. Who's the team that's got one championship, but not really, no one pays attention to too much? Maybe a team, Suns got a championship? No, I don't think so. Yeah, they'd be like a Phoenix Suns type franchise, though. Got history. Had Charles Barkley. All right. Knicks had Ewing. Both couldn't be Jordan. Yeah, it's perfect. The Knicks are basically the Phoenix Suns if they don't play in New York. All right. Knicks are literally the Phoenix Suns. That's the perfect comparison right there. There it is. The Knicks are just the Phoenix Suns if they don't play in New York. Boom. Got it. Anyway, though, yeah, like I said, LeBron's not going to New York. If that happens, then I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the world of sports if that happens. But either way, let's see what else is going on in the basketball world. Let's see. Nothing much else going on. LeBron's starting to heat up. The Cavs are starting to heat up. Getting ready for the playoffs. Big game going on tonight between them and the Sixers. The Nuggets, like I said, their win was crucial yesterday. Got the Clippers going on tomorrow. I think that's pretty much all that's going on in the NBA. I think we pretty much covered everything. So let's see what's going on with tonight's games. Let's make my picks. So first up, let's see what do we got going on first up. We got the Detroit Pistons facing off with the Dallas Mavericks. I got to go Detroit in this one. Neither team has anything to play for, but the Mavericks are trying to tank for a nice little draft pick. So I got the Pistons. Then we got the Hornets facing off with the Magic. I got the Hornets in that one. The Magic are just a disgusting, awful team. Cavs versus the 76ers. The Sixers are actually favored in this one. Favored by 4. All right. That's what Vegas wants you to think. You're going to tell me that this team without Joel Embiid is better than the Cavs and are favored to win? No way, Jose. I'm going with the Cavs in this one. So that's an upset pick. Then we got the Hawks facing off with the Wizards. I got the Wizards in that one. Celtics and Bulls. No Jason Tatum. No Al Horford. So it's going to be a bit of a game. But nonetheless, I'm going with the Celtics in this one. We got the Heat facing off with the Knicks. I got the Heat in that one. Pacers facing off with the Raptors. I think Raptors got that 1 seed locked up. Nothing really to play for, so I'm going to go with the Pacers in this one. We got the Kings facing off with the Grizzlies. I'm going with Sacramento. Pelicans versus the Phoenix Suns. I got the Pelicans. And then we got the Timberwolves facing off with the Lakers. Timberwolves got to win this one, so I'm going to go with the Timberwolves in this one, although it's going to be tough. So only 2 upset picks tonight. That's the Pacers over the Raptors and the Cavs over the Sixers. So to recap, I got the Pistons winning, Hornets winning, Cavs winning, Wizards winning, Celtics winning, Heat winning, Pacers winning, Kings winning, Pelicans winning, and the Timberwolves winning. We'll see how right I am. Maybe if I get them all right, we'll talk about it on Monday. But either way, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Like I said, we talked Warriors, we talked Celtics, we recapped yesterday's games, talked a bit about the Knicks, talked a bit about the Thunder, talked a bit about Melo, and made my picks for tonight's game. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back on Monday, so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.